Hi there. Welcome to workshop number 5 in the Digital Economy Program workshop series. I'm Kelly Doody, and I'm going to take you through this workshop in a bit of a different way. We're going to focus on the action items that we have embedded into this workshop that you'll find in the workbook. So this week's workshop took a bit of a different angle because we're at somewhat of a turning point. The first 4 workshops in the series were very much about laying the groundwork. We talked about our purpose and our value and our voice and our bio or about statements. And our audience, who are we speaking to and what do they need from us? What are their pain points and desires and fears and frustrations? And how are we going to show up to answer those problems or serve those people? But now we're at a point where we need to say, okay, we know the why. What about the how? What are the platforms and places that we can show up and invest our time and energy in order to really reach people with the message that we need to convey, and more importantly, get them to take action. So we're going to be looking at this from a couple of different ways, and both the tactics that are involved or that are available to you, as well as the customer journey that should dictate those decisions. So let's first look at the tactics. There's no shortage of them in this modern day digital marketing landscape, as you know. And the thing is that we can't be everywhere. So we want to try and identify 3 to 5 leading places for us to spend our time. And hopefully you already have some idea of what that is. Do you really want to invest in video content in the 12 months ahead? Do you think that a long form blog with deeper thought leadership pieces or, shareable type of content is going to resonate the most? Or is it straight up social campaigns and advertising campaigns that you know are going to have some traction for you because you've done the other stuff? Well, this is up to you to try and determine. But the question, of course, is how? How do we know what ones are the biggest priorities for us and are the places where our people, i.e. our prospects and our customers, are spending their time and attention? So we've got to know that first things first. And if you need to go backwards to our audience identification workshop, which was number 3, I encourage you to do so. But what we're going to be talking about more so is this customer journey. So this is something that is highly overlooked. And essentially what it is a way for us to first identify and then fill the gaps in the journey from point A to point B that our customers are taking. So from the moment they first hear about us, or they learn about what we do and who we are, or they even maybe one step further, they know what they need and they know that we might be a provider of that service, to where they actually purchase or subscribe or, give us a phone call. Whatever that journey looks like, and all those places in the middle are our opportunities to show up for them. And those could be physical touch points or they could be digital touch points, but we want to make sure that we're filling that void essentially. So in this workshop, we did talk a lot about the various stages of the journey, and it built on the idea of awareness and interest and decision and action. And if you recall, that is something that we've talked about in the past workshops. So it's this funnel, but we're turning it on its side and calling it a journey. And you can have whatever you want to call those stages in the middle, is totally up for you. But we're really trying to identify the platforms or the places that people are finding us along that journey. So are these digital or are they physical? And do you have any at all? Maybe you have 20 different tactics in place in your digital marketing mix or your marketing mix on the whole, or maybe you only have a couple. But we need to understand where it is that we're losing people along the way, and how we can do a better job of not letting that happen. So the first exercise in this workbook and in this week's workshop was identifying the ways that your customer or prospect currently finds you. So let's think about that top of funnel stage 1 area called awareness. Well, maybe it's through, paid ads. Are you running some Facebook and Instagram ad campaigns? Or are you sending out a regular e-newsletter? Great. Building awareness, of course. Perhaps you're really investing in your search optimization efforts and you're showing up in search when people type in, dog walker. And there you are. Perfect. You're showing up at that stage. What about if those are digital, what are some physical touch points at that stage? Well, it could be a physical location. Somebody wanders in off the street and they see your sign, and that is still awareness building. They've never heard of you before, but that sign is doing its job. Now we move into the interest stage. Well, essentially what we're doing here is trying to get people to move further along the journey. So creating that desire or the idea of getting to know you better, where they know you and they like you and they trust you. So what are those tactics? Well, that could be maybe some live streams that you do to help your followers better understand who you are as a company, as a brand, who your people are, what you have to offer, and why you do what you do. Perhaps it is a podcast series, which could also be really effective in that regard. Or, paid campaigns that are a little bit more pointed in their language so that they're, generating additional understanding of who you are and what you do. The physical touch points at this point could be anything. It could be a coupon in the mail. It could be a postcard. It could be a billboard. Maybe it's a radio ad. Maybe it's a trade show booth or some other sales team or, whatever it is that actually physically exists that people can find you at that stage in the game. We're moving into the decision stage. Well, what's it going to take for me here? This might be my blog where I go into more detail and I actually win people over, or I get them further to the finish line or the stage 4 of action, because I'm sharing my expertise freely and I'm building authority and accessibility and authenticity and all those A words that we love. Beyond a blog, perhaps it's, again, additional types of social content that's a little more real, a little more raw and honest. Like, look, here's why we're doing what we're doing, or we're so excited to finally tell you about this product. It's arrived, but now I'm creating decision or desire that goes beyond the general interest and awareness I was building until now. In this stage, we have a lot of people creating videos, because there is nothing like a YouTube video or an Instagram video, possibly a longer one, not like a 6-second TikTok, but maybe like a 60-second Instagram reel or a YouTube video for a few minutes that goes deeper into, the story of your company or the reasons for this product or service and what it's going to do to change someone's life. And then and physical touch points at that stage as well. That could be, again, a live person. It could be a sales rep. It could be phone calls made. It could be somebody able to connect with you on a chat or in a more physical environment, if you will. And who knows, it could be an actual physical, again, coupon in the mail or something that gets them to make a decision or gets them closer to stage 4 action. What exists at stage 4? Well, this is anything that's going to convert someone. It's going to turn them to a buyer or a customer. It's going to get me to the finish line. So it could literally be like, a live event. It could be a sale. It could be some kind of really pointed, timely and scarcity style message that's created as an Instagram ad where time is running out. This is your last chance. The sale ends today. Well, that's the kind of content or physical or digital touch point that's going to make me take action. Emails can do this really well too, of course, if we've led someone down the path and then that final email is like last chance. You might find that you have tactics or touch points, the same one that appears at every stage. My website builds awareness. My website builds interest. My website builds a decision or desire. And my website allows for action. That's totally fine. As long as you don't have any massive gaps at any stage in the journey, we know we're on the right track. And if you really need to step back and ask a certain customer some of these things, please, by all means do. Really important to take yourself out of the picture for a minute. Ask an existing client or customer, where did they find you in their awareness or kind of research phase? Well, what made them interested in you? Well, then what made them decide to, further along, go further with you or consider buying from you? What were those decisive factors? And then what actually had them take action? Was it a sale? Was it a coupon? Or was it just, that reference or referral or something you said or did? Was it that news story? So really important for us to know how and when and where people are discovering us. The second exercise here, of course, is what's our ideal journey? Is that first page what you want it to be? Or where would you like to start inserting some additional platforms or touch points into that journey? Where do you feel like you're kind of missing the boat here? It could be some paid ads that are far more awareness building and just general kind of storytelling than they are promotional push marketing. We talked in the workshop about that jab, right hook theory of Gary Vaynerchuk, marketer. And he actually, that's the name of one of his books. And the idea is that you give, and then you get the sale. Or as Seth Godin, another famous marketer, puts it, you don't give, get, you give, ask. Now I can tell you about what I sell or make or do because I've nurtured you along. I've introduced myself properly. I've let you get to know me before I go in with that right hook right away, asking for the sale. It just doesn't work in today's day and age. Sometimes it does if that customer is right away ready to buy and it's not a maybe huge investment or they need what they need now and it's a new t-shirt. But if it's something that's more, carefully thought out and that they're really kind of being more discerning with, well, then you better believe that you need to have a customer journey in play. The final exercise here is to identify the platforms and tactics that we think or that we know we are prepared to focus on in the 12 months ahead. So really important for us to identify either those missing pieces tactics or the ones that we know our audience is on and we need to continue to or start investing our time and money in. It could be Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, or it could be your website, your search optimization, and your Google ad campaigns. But without having the time or energy for any of us to have 12 priorities, we want to start thinking about 3 or 4 per quarter, or even per year, if that's where you're at, no problem. We've talked about enough to date in this workshop series around building your messaging and getting that in order. And then, identifying your audience and knowing what they need and getting that in order. And now we're moving towards, again, those tactical workshops ahead where we really dive into email marketing and website building and optimizing and social platform by platform, which is our next workshop coming up. And then paid ads and search ads, etc. So before we move ahead on some of those deeper dives, of course, we want to know where we're going to be focusing our time and energy. And I encourage you to take a look at this exercise and try and get a good idea of where you're prioritizing before we move forward. I hope that helps you complete the exercises for workshop number 6 or number 5 we just did. And I will see you ideally on January 27th for workshop number 6, social success. We're going to go platform by platform, new features, trending topics, all the ways that we can really leverage these beautiful social platforms, not all of them, but the ones that matter to us and our audience, and then start to create the kind of content, both paid and organic, that's going to resonate and get people to convert once they find us on those platforms. Thanks so much. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Good luck.